I'm Steve Sawyer. My wife Louise and I are privileged to have been members of our church, KFBC, since the very earliest days of its founding. As we proceed on the Sharing Life campaign, I'd like to share a little personal testimony from the history of our church. Nearly 40 years ago, Kingwood First Baptist Church launched a very similar campaign. Its purpose, just as it is today, was to improve our facilities, better serve our church membership and the community at large. The campaign's theme was not equal gifts, but equal sacrifice. The idea was that every member, in his or her own way, sacrificially give according to how they felt led and according to their available resources. And if you bear with me back to the early 1980s, it was a time of challenge for a few of us. I was a newly elected deacon, a soon-to-be first-time father. My bank balance was pretty thin, and I had plenty of debt myself. When I thought about the word sacrifice, I wondered, well, what do I have to offer? Certainly not much in the way of monetary resources, but in searching around, I did discover I had one available assets. It was a well-used but still decent 1968 Lincoln sedan. I'd bought it 10 years earlier, and by 1980 it was just serving as our second car. I thought that if I sold the car and used the proceeds to help the campaign, then it would mean two things really. One, I would help the fund, but the other, it would mean giving up something that I really, really liked. But in thinking about that, I realized too that my stewardship of God's possessions meant more than just keeping it. It meant exchanging one thing of value for something of greater value. As it turned out, shortly after that, my wife had taken the car downtown to the Texas Medical Center where she had an appointment. When she came back out, she found a handwritten note on the windshield that said, "I want to buy your car." And when she showed me the note after she came back, I said, "Well, how could that be? I haven't even advertised the car yet. I haven't so much as put a for sale sign on it. And here somebody wanted to buy it." So I called the man up, and he explained that he was a collector. His wife had at one time a car just like it. It was kind of a nostalgia thing for him, but he did make a fair offer on it, and so I agreed. I've got to admit that it was kind of an emotional moment, driving my car for the last time down there and turning over the keys. Again, I realized that this was the right thing to do, and even as I saw it drive away for the last time, I felt inside that yes, I have done the right thing, and I felt a joy about that. I felt really good. Yes, I knew I'd missed the car, but I also knew that every penny from the sale of that car was going to help Kingwood First Baptist spread God's word in our community, and that's what made it all worth it. Now, a little story just told you could have ended right there, but something else remarkable happened. One afternoon, more than a year later, 13 months to be exact, as I was sitting at my desk at work, the phone rang, and it was the wife of the man who I'd sold the car to. And she was now a widow, and she was settling her late husband's estate. Her question to me was, would I be interested in buying my old car back? Well, it's hard to describe the feelings of hearing something so unexpected, but there I was, being offered back what I thought I'd given up forever. I can't explain how things like this work out. They do. I only know that God's provision is boundless. He knows our hearts. He knows where our treasure lies. I just think when we consider things like our Sharing Life campaign, that yes, it is about sharing life. It's about thinking not about ourselves, but how can we share the gospel with others. So as we continue with this campaign in the months and years, it's good, in my opinion, to not think so much about historical anecdotes like I just described, but think about the future of our church. And to me, that's the most positive thing we can do.